Thank you very much for coming. We'll run in the usual way from our perspective. We'll start off with Gail from Sky, onto Anita from PLP, Phil for the radio. After that, we'll do a section for the Saturday newspapers, which will be Embargo 10:30 p.m. tonight, and then after the matches on Sunday, so we'll do a Sunday section as well, Embargo 10:30 p.m. on Saturday night. I think the Saturday section will be quite short, but you can guide me on that. I'll move it along if I think I need to. Variety of cameras, are we all happy? In that case, we can start with Gail.
Yeah, just a couple from me. I didn't really speak after. I just wondered, on the eve of another new season, you envisage where you'd like to have been. Are you where you thought you'd be at the start of this season?
Brentford. Yeah.
Like the squad you want, the players you want. You know, you speak to Ten Hag and he's had a lot of money to spend, and even he's not happy. So I just wonder where you are.
I mean, in general, a positive guy, and definitely see the glass half full than half empty. I'm overall quite happy with where we are. I think we done a fantastic signing with Igor. Of course, we were unlucky. That can happen. I think we've done a fantastic signing with Fabio. So I think that's a good start to a window that is still open to, I don't know how many days. Too long. Definitely too long. It should have been shot, so we don't have all this. There'll be a few questions about transfers down the line. I'm pretty sure about that. But but no, overall, I'm pleased. I'm pleased. The main thing last year was that we had too many injuries. A lot of them are in a good place. For example, Ben Mee and Keane Lewis Potter, they will be available for selection on Sunday, so that's very positive, I think. Rico Henry and Hickey, they are the two closest one of the others, are also progressing well. Rico, he trained in the 11-11 today, so he just destroyed my tactical training because he ran through the defense of the team I had. So that was another positive. Overall, okay, positive.
Injuries maybe in a moment. You're happy with the two you've got. A couple very close but got away. Have you found the market a little bit frustrating this summer?
I think the market is the market, and it's always difficult to navigate in the transfer market. And you win some, you lose some.
You know, when you spoke to Rob a couple of days ago, I know it was only 2 days ago, but in football world, we all know that can be quite a long time. Very latest, first of all, Ivan Toney. Is there any movement since Wednesday when you said he'll definitely be here post deadline?
The fresh news is that he trained out there with a big smile on his face. He looked sharp, good attitude. And he's available for Sunday.
That wasn't quite my question. you said he'd be available. You think he'll be here post deadline? Is that still your understanding?
Yeah, it's transfer window. There's been so much talk about Ivan. I think everyone will be a little bit disappointed if he's here after the 1st September, because then you can't ask that question anymore. Yeah, and there's a January transfer window, but let's see. The only thing I'm focused on is that he trained well and he's available for Sunday.
Yeah. Wissa is the other name that's come up.
Which one, sorry?
Wissa, this week. Are you confident he'll stay too? Because there's been a bit of noise. Has there been any bids for him?
Yeah, he's also trained well and looked sharp today, and he will also be available for Sunday.
In terms of the injuries, did you get to the bottom of why? I know sometimes that's very difficult, but have you changed anything? Just spoken to a scientist because it hampered you so badly last year?
Yeah, I think the injuries that happened, we were never happy with, but overall, how can you say, okay with, because there's a lot of contact injuries and a lot of unlucky injuries. So it's more the return to play time we're looking to try to do everything we can to improve. A lot of things we did well. Said that last year that, for example, the soft tissue injuries, hamstring injuries, so on, we had diffused in the league more or less. So that's very impressive. But we just try to turn every stone to see if there's something we can improve.
Yeah, and just finally, if you one hope for the season, one wish, what would it be?
One wish. Okay, one wish is probably too big to say no injuries, but the fewest injuries in the league. That would be my. If we get that, then we have a fantastic season.
Thank you. Anita.
Thomas, I know you said that overall you'd be happy. Which areas, if you had a magic wand, would you still like to reinforce before the end of the transfer window?
That's a good question. I need to find a way to get around that.
Trying to make it as hard as possible.
Yeah.
Not to say yes.
I am very happy with what we got overall. What we always look to, because what I found out is it's so difficult to say, okay, want the left winger, let's say that. And then to get the right one at the right level at the right time is sometimes very difficult. So, of course, if we only have one winger and we need 4, then of course we need to buy 2. But we need to get the best possible player available that can make the squad stronger. I don't have a specific position for you, unfortunately. I would like 1 or 2 more players in, if possible. If it's not, then we are in a fine place.
One of the players he brought in, Fabio, he said that he'd like to score at the weekend.
You like the what, sorry?
He'd like to score at the weekend.
Yeah.
From what you've seen, is he available to start on Sunday? Would he slot into the Sunday?
He will be available for the team, for the squad. I'm pretty sure he will be involved in that. He looked good in training. I think he is a very exciting player. I like the way he is on the half turn, the way he drives with the ball, the way he can set up other players, the way he also can score goals. I think he got a lot of quality.
And looking at Crystal Palace, obviously Oliver Glasner came in towards the end of last season. They were one of the important teams in those last few games. What are you expecting from them this season now he's had a full pre-season with you?
I expect they will have a good season. I think it was impressive the way they finished last season. I think Oliver Glasner and his coaching team and the players and everyone did very well at Crystal Palace. I think it's clear to see what he wants. And I think actually they look like they're very difficult to play against. I expect a very, very difficult, tight game on Sunday. No doubt about that. I think it's 2 even teams that will go hopefully toe to toe. I hope it'll be entertaining for the fans. I could expect that maybe it's difficult to have a lot of goals the first game of the season, but let's see. We will definitely do what we can to attack and be front-footed and positive and do what we can to win the game. Yeah.
Thanks, and congrats on another season in the Premier League.
Yeah, thank you.
Phil.
Thomas, good afternoon. Just sticking with Palace, what will it take for that game not to be a draw? Because they're always draws.
Yeah, they were 5 out of 6. And then unfortunately we lost as a 6-1 last year. The interesting thing I think I faced 2 or 3 different managers, can't remember. And it was always tight games. So sometimes it's not only the managers who's setting the teams out, sometimes just the players and the way they play that it just make it tight games. I will, of course, be a little bit biased towards ourselves. And hopefully if we hit a top level tomorrow, where I think we looked actually really good going forward in the preseason. Can we hit that level, play with that intensity, and make sure we are not only tight enough, but also do the bits on the half transition, the bigger transitions? That's where I think actually Crystal Palace are very, very dangerous. And of course keep SA and Mateta quiet. Can we do that? Then I think we can win the game.
Do you, sympathy is the wrong word, but do you sort of identify with what Palace have been going through this summer, because you produce either by signing or bringing players through that become successful players that become coveted by other teams, and suddenly you're being either asked would you sell him for this amount of money, or are you being asked about transfers? Do you sort of have an understanding of what Palace are going through from what you've experienced here with them?
Yeah, definitely. I think they've done well to build a squad that have very high-profile players that other clubs are looking at. So everyone who's behind Palace, Stephen, the other owners, and everyone, the way they built it is impressive. I think Gay, of course, and Esse and Olise, 3 top players, I would say. And now they sold one, and they will most likely sell the 2 others. I could imagine they would have loved to have one season with all 3 of them fully firing. Unfortunately, that's football. So I understand them.
And I know we sort of dealt about this last season, but when it comes to signings, with the likes of Rico coming back, Aaron being fit, getting fitter, Kevin Schade, for example, does it feel that, when people ask you about whether you want to sign new players, but when you've got players that you really didn't have access to last year, does that feel a little bit like a boost, a little bit like having new faces back again?
Yeah.
The squad is fresh again.
Oh, definitely. I think, Kevin started the last season, well, and were building and scored this fantastic goal actually against Palace, put it to the top corner. And I think it was the game after, actually, basically, he got injured. So he was just showing small signs back into last season. He looked good in pre-season, Kevin, sharp, really excited about him. So we got some really good players that we haven't seen too much of. Aaron as well. I think he showed signs in the first 2 seasons, but imagining him have a consistent, high-performing season. Rico, we know how good he is. So, as I said, I like the one. My biggest wish is just to have the lowest amount of injuries this season. Then I think we'll have a fantastic season.
And just one about not this game, but Ipswich in particular. Southampton and Leicester are more experienced of the Premier League, but not that he would necessarily ask your advice, but having been through that process yourself of not being in the Premier League and then becoming a Premier League side, what sort of advice do you give when you're stepping up? From your experience now, having increasingly becoming an established top flight club.
I'm sure that Ipswich and Kieran, they know what they're doing and have their own how can I say, opinions and knowledge about what they want to do. And I think every club is a little bit different and has different ways to success. And what we did, and then people can take from that, but what they want to do was that we were privileged that we built a good squad over a few years. So basically the entire starting 11 in the first game of the season, I think it was only Christopher Ayer. The rest was the players who came up, and until David was sold, so the finish where we finished 9th, I think we had 8 starters or something like that. That's remarkable. So I think that's probably a little bit of an outlier when I see other teams. And then that I think this is a common foundation or strategy or the way to build a club. I think we talked about it a lot. The calm ownership, clear strategy, alignment through the club, hard work. I think that brings us to where we are today.
And not being complacent, not thinking you've done it.
Thank you. That's actually a good reminder. So I had to mention that for the players this pre-season, because 3 seasons in the Premier League, fine. 4th, okay, and you're going into the season and we always want to get better. We always want to develop. But it's a little bit tricky. Can we put enough level on so we can go into Europe? We're fighting against 16 clubs probably with a bigger budget, and we know money rules. So how can we not just be happy with being here? So it's trying to put new targets, challenges, being on each other. But it is a very good group. So, but I think it's good to remind them, and it is human nature to feel a little bit sorry for yourself. I know it myself when I go for a run sometimes. Oh my God, I feel sorry for myself sometimes. And every single time I do that, I think about the players. Say, Thomas, you can't feel sorry for yourself, because they will feel sorry for themselves. And so I think it's human nature. So it's up to me and the staff and the players themselves to make sure we're not getting complacent.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
We're still under immediate embargo. We'll go to Ruben PA next, and anyone else.
Hi.
I'm sort of delighted that you still got Toney at the club with obviously the injury of the new signing. That depth position, is that satisfying for you?
Very much. As long as I have Ivan, I'm very, very, very happy. Hopefully that's for another year. He's a fantastic player. We've had 4 great years together, and the club have been very pleased to have him in the club. And hopefully they'll continue one more year. And I know there'll be a lot of speculation and talks and back and forth. So it's like with everything in life, let's enjoy the moment and let's look one day ahead and then see what's happening.
And you say he's smiling and training. Did you need to remind him to be focused and block out any of the speculation, or is he just strictly down to business?
I think it's one of Ivan's biggest strengths in general. There's been a few things going on in his life, and he's so good to block it out, so good to focus on training, actually just too positive a character to just enjoys football, love football. So it's quite easy for him to want to play football.
Yeah, just on Palace, I mean, in the past you probably expected different things from a Palace team. What does Glasnow's Palace offer which is different to Hodgson's or Vieira?
I think they. I think the little tweak with having the 3 attacking players close all the time makes it a few more combination central and try to break through in the middle of the pitch. And then, of course, they have these combination with the wing backs where when they break through, then they get the crosses on the cutbacks. So that is very clear. Their breakthrough strategy.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Anyone else before we go under embargo? We'll go to Sam next.
So I just wanted to start off, obviously you go into every game wanting to win, but you have a decidedly harder time on the road to start the season off than at home, so just how important is a game like today's, but also the first few home games of the season?
I'm basically only looking forward to the first game. Obviously, always good and important and fantastic if we can win the first game. That will be very good to get that boxed off and get the good feeling straight away. So that's what I'm completely focused on. I know we are facing Liverpool in game 2, and then I have an idea of the next 3, but I can't remember exactly how they come. Just focusing on Crystal Palace, and then hope we get 3 points and take from there.
Of course, and so you offered some really good news about Hickey and Henry, and I just wanted to sort of develop that a little bit. Where are they in line with today's game, Sunday's game, but also the weeks on from that? I think
before the international break, I think it'll be difficult for them to be involved in the squad. Let's see. It was very positive with Rico today, and then it will be game by game after that.
And so Henry is back on the grass. Hickey
is also back on the grass. Hickey were in the first short part of some prep and passing today.
And did they play any part in the second friendly against Wolves?
No. Yeah.
And then Paris Maghoma, we've spoken about quite a bit this season. Obviously new contract, but we haven't seen any of him in pre-season. What's the latest with him?
Injured.
Any updates on that?
He should be, in the end of August, should be close to be on the grass.
Perfect. And then obviously Zanka left this week. He didn't play much, but his importance both on and off the pitch as a leader, how hard is it to replace that sort of experience?
That's of course always tough, but first and foremost, I'm very pleased with what he gave to the club and the team in the 3 years he were here. I think it was a fantastic signing back then, and I think he added a lot of value, as you said, on and off the pitch. I saw the number, I think it was 48 games. It's quite a lot over 3 seasons. And then when you're centre back, you normally start them. So impressive part of the journey we've been on. that's fantastic. What he gave outside the pitch as a leader and gave to the group, I'm very grateful about that. He's a big character in the most positive way. So it's also a little bit to compromise that he's maybe not playing as much. So very happy with what he gave to the team and the club, and I wish him all the best.
And I'm assuming that sort of character, that sort of player, is someone you'll be looking to replace in the coming years.
Yeah, we got 4 centre backs. We need to look into. Got 4? Yeah, 4. And Ji Soo. So probably, maybe. Let's see.
And that's also something that's in my mind. Ji Soo, what sort of future with him? Because obviously he's played pretty well in pre-season.
Yeah.
You know, he's very young, hasn't got any Premier League experience. Is it a loan move, or is he going to stay with the club?
Again, transfer window is crazy, but the overall plan is that he stays with us, stays and train, and of course if he's good enough he will play, and he's done well in the friendlies. Been happy with what I've been seeing. He's very good on the ball, very big composure, understanding more and more our principles, and then he just need that. I hate to say experience, but that extra awareness in situations, in the defensive situations.
And finally, I just wanted to end on Fabio Carvalho. Obviously, a massive signing for you. Just how well has he settled in, and what can he offer?
Settling well. He is easy character. Of course, I just met him last few days. He can offer something we don't have too much of in the squad. He's fantastic between the lines, on the half term, the way he drives forward, the way he links up with the attacking players, the way he finds solutions where there is no solutions. So I really like what I see, I must say.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, back row.
Hi Thomas. A bit more on Fabio Carvalho. You mentioned there some of the traits you really like about him, but what do you view as his best position?
I think he it's probably the 10, or when he comes off from the left. But either way, in those spaces between the lines, or where he drops a little bit to the side and start creating from there, that I would say is the best. He can play a winger, where he will maybe start wide, but can then come in either with the ball or without the ball.
And what kind of partnerships are you looking for him to make with other players in the squad? Are there any players in particular you're keen to see him link up with?
I think that will develop over the time, and that's up to him and me to find his best position and what is the best. How does it click in the best possible way?
And finally, on Ivan Toney, he's been linked with a big move for a long time now. He's stayed the summer and he looks ready to start the season with Brentford. Do you think he almost has a point to prove after there hasn't been maybe the concrete interest that people thought would materialise? Do you feel like he has maybe a bit of a chip on his shoulder? Is there anything he has to prove this season?
I would say no matter what season it is, you always have something to prove. Because in football, yesterday is long gone. So it's always about the next game and the next training and the next season. You could say he had a bit disrupted season last year. So I'm convinced that he's very, very hungry, very determined to have a fantastic season.
Anything else? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. During last season, there were moments when you guys conceded from crosses, especially at the back post. Has that been a point of emphasis this preseason and heading into the game against Wissa?
Very good question. Yes. I hope we have fixed it. Most likely we'll still concede goals on the back stick this season, but hopefully we really will minimize that. It's something we've been working on. Try both to be better to stop the crosses, but also to defend the box better. So that's an area we got to improve.
Okay.
You briefly spoke about him earlier, but I just wanted to talk about Kieran Schade for a moment. He's had a really strong pre-season. How would you evaluate his performances not only on the pitch but during training?
Good. He came back in a very good place from the off season, and just been building from there. We know he's a fantastic deep runner, and his pace is lightning quick. So we've been working quite a lot on how he can running behind. That of course he can get the ball into feet, but his big strength is to running behind, and then working on his finishing skills as well, and then just constantly build it from there. But I am quite excited about him. So yeah, looking forward to see him.
Okay. Obviously, you missed a large chunk of last season due to injury.
Kevin, yeah.
Continue with him. How's his relationship developing with Ivan, Johan, and Brian? And what's the best way to describe it? How would you say his assets differ from them three?
Of course, Brian and Wissa are quite quick, but Kevin is different level, and I think he need to. The more he can run in behind, the better, and find those positions where he doesn't have to be a long run. It can be a small position where just little darted run down the side. That's where I think he's different. I think his aerial attributes as well is very good. He's good in the box and crosses.
Okay, just continuing with him. What else would you kind of like to see from him? Actually, let me just change the question slightly. What would you like to see from him in the opening few weeks of the season?
Hopefully a lot of goals and assists. But we know it's not that easy. No, I would like some, that'll be nice, but we need that consistent performance where he's doing well in the pressure, where his link-up play is still at a good level, where the difficult balls, he protects them, and he is constantly a threat. So stuff of less like consistent in all areas.
Okay, just one final question. You've spoken about reinforcements before, but the club has a constant conveyor belt of talent coming through. Who would you say has got the best chance of maybe taking that step into the first team, into the squad, based on their pre-season performances?
I would say that Kevin is actually a good shout. He came, played half a season, then last season was disrupted so much by injuries. So I think he is probably one of the ones in a good place. There's still a keen with Potter, but been a little bit unlucky with an injury in the preseason here, and then still think that Damsgaard can take a step.
Brilliant, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, we're going to go under embargo now.